is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MCs. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
Two DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike
Is that a timetable?
and DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
Everybody loves that. Give me the mic. Let me have it.
I love that intro. That intro was cool.
Yes, thank you. So thank you guys. Welcome to another episode of Two DJs and One Mic. Myself, the soft-spoken, nice guy, and we have the infamous DJ JP on the side of me, and we're blessed with none other than DJ Corona.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
In the house.
And he's not drunk.
Not yet. I hope by the end of the interview, we're gonna get there.
Yes. So we want to thank you for coming on. You know, Jeff is always just filled with so many emotions when I do the intro. So many emotions.
I love it.
Okay, yeah.
But thank you for coming on with us. It's always an honor to, have the opportunity, to interview, people that are local and not just local. You're one of the guys that's been on the scene for a while, that's been doing things and doing great things, and it's gonna be good.
I appreciate y'all, letting me come on and be a part of this. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here, honestly.
Good. We're glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So before we get into the questions, just give us a little brief bio about James, aka DJ Corona.
How much time I got?
As much as you need.
Okay.
Go ahead.
2 minutes.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
I've been DJing since 1996. I started DJing. I actually started kind of DJing when I was younger, in high school. My sister would do parties, and so I was the DJ for the parties with cassette tapes.
Oh, okay.
She had a home stereo, and I just always loved music growing up.
Cassette James. Was
that's
that
right.
name?
That's right. I couldn't. I had to. I had to play a song, and then the song ended. Pop it out. You hit the eject button.
Oh, so you didn't have a dual?
No.
Oh.
I wasn't that fancy.
Oh,
So that was kind of where I started, but I had people dancing in the living room and everything, and so that's kind of that's right. And then I started DJing in college. I started doing sorority parties and college parties and things like that, and then started DJing in the club in 1997 at Lasers in Deep Ellum.
Yeah,
was there for about 9-10 years. Took a little break from DJing. Went back to lasers, and then after that, converted to doing private events. I've been doing that ever since. So.
all right.
Yeah,
A little history.
a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it did. So you've been DJing, like you say, since the 90s. So what was the Dallas scene like, when you first started, and how has it evolved?
When I first started DJing back in the 90s, it was a very housey type music. The house was very popular back then, and I remember going to different nightclubs, and I remember, having different theme nights.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday nights was college night, Friday night was, house night, Saturday was a different night, and I just remember loving all the music, and I thought to myself, why can't there be a club that plays everything? Why does it have to be a certain night, like for house? Why can't they just mix everything? So in my mind, I thought, the perfect club would be open format.
Was that term around then?
No.
Okay.
No. So when I got into the club scene, that's what I did. I started doing the open format, and other DJs were like, oh man, you're playing the top 40 stuff. You're playing, 80s and 90s and back then, and so they were all into the house.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing. And so now, it's evolved to now you have to kind of be an open format
Yeah,
DJ,
you do.
and you got to play to everybody because everybody likes different types of music.
So let me ask you, this. What was the house track in Dallas? What kind of music were you playing in house? Do you remember?
That
Yeah,
me
yeah. What was one of the tracks that you were playing?
back in, I know, like for example, in the early 2000s, there was like one called Magic Orgasm.
Wow.
Have you heard that song before? It's got a great beat. It's got a
Okay,
great beat.
alright.
I mean, there's different ones. I'm trying to think. You put me on the spot.
No, I'm sorry. No, because I was just wondering, was it the same as what they were doing in Chicago, places like that? Was it that house or was it commercial like CC Peniston, Crystal Water, stuff like that?
I think
Or was
honestly,
it deeper, little?
I think it depends on which club you went to.
Okay.
So, but house was really big, but it really just kind of depended on which club you went to.
You know, and to be honest too, being here local, when we listen to music, we kind of listen to a little bit of everything.
Right.
We were not like, I'm only East Coast or I'm only West Coast. We kind of listen to everything. So I can see the house being maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that, deep house, classic house,
Right.
as we call it now. I could see that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think the scene has evolved now?
I don't know. I haven't been to clubs in a while, but as far as the events that I'm doing and what people are requesting, I think it's open format. I think that you have people of all ages, and I think that you have people that love all types of music like I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to funk. I grew up listening to 80s and 90s. And so that's the stuff because I have older brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So I listen to what they listen to. I grew up listening to, Diana Ross and Atomic Dog and Flashlight, and then the 80s, Duran Duran. And then you get to the 90s,
Hungry like a wolf.
Yeah, exactly. So I think now from what I'm seeing, the events that I'm doing, I mean, even the kids are requesting songs from the 80s, from the 90s, from the early 2000s. You're like, wow, how do you know that song? It's because
music is being
Matter of
repurposed.
fact, the school I do this week, Mom's Rhapsody is a huge.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
And they sing to "Don't Stop Believing." They'll sing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they know all those.
Yeah, they know all those.
They
Never
know-
gonna give
yeah.
you up.
Because one of the moms came and she's like, "Hey, play this song." I mean, this is not gonna work. Man, them kids were singing and dancing.
Absolutely,
I was
yeah.
like, wow, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, you learn something.
Classics.
They never die.
Right,
Good music
absolutely.
will
They never die.
Absolutely.
All right, Jeffrey.
What's the key to maintaining a schedule of over 160 gigs a year without burning out? So tell me so I know.
All right. So this is the secret.
Okay.
So I've been working since I was 13 years old.
Okay.
And so I went to school, and after school I went to work. And then for the last 20 years, I've had two jobs. I work Monday through Friday, and then I would DJ Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. So pulling in crazy hours. So in 2021, I retired from my day job, and so I could concentrate 100% to DJing is what I wanted to do. So when you work in two jobs, to do one is easy for me because I mean I was used to putting in so many hours. But honestly, it's a couple things. One, you got to have the passion for it. You got to love what you do.
Absolutely.
And number two, I've always had the philosophy is you work hard and you play hard. You got to make time.
So is that working 4 days a week, 2 events in a day, or?
It varies. As we all know, DJing is seasonal. So like in January, February, it may slow down. A lot of people don't want to get married when it's cold. March, it kind of starts picking up. April, May starts picking up. Summertime, it kind of slows down. I mean, there's times that I may be out 4 or 5 days a week. Wow. I mean, I've been out 6 days a week, depending on what's going on, when we are, October, December. And then there's times I just go out.
Of that 160, what's your percentage of what you do?
I do 98% of the events.
No, I'm talking about
What
type
niche?
of events. I'm sorry.
Weddings, the majority of weddings is what I do, and then I do some corporate stuff and some school events every once in a while. And then I do, every once in a while, a pool party will show up or pop up, or I do a lot of stuff for schools. I do a lot of stuff for my son's school. I volunteer, things like that. I do some quinceañeras too.
Okay.
So it's different. Mainly weddings, and mainly some some corporate stuff, and so
160.
and that's actually, I mean, I think one year I clocked 184 events. So I mean, I was going out crazy, but I love what I do, and like I said, when you're working two jobs to do that full time, I mean, you just gotta love what you do, and
Oh yeah.
you gotta pace yourself.
Yeah. So how do you get it back, or do you take? Okay, I'm just gone for a week, or I'm just gonna sit down somewhere. How do you?
You gotta make time. So the thing is, like for me, is I know, for example, like right now we're in May, or we're in April and May, so we're in the busy season. I know in June it's gonna slow down because a lot of people don't want to get married when it's hot. So we just block off time. We go, hey, family time. We're gonna take a family vacation, a week off in June. So we just block off the time. And that's the good thing about being able to work for yourself is you make your own schedule. You can work as much as you want or not. And I mean, there's a lot of times that I turn away a lot of work just because, I want to spend more time with my son. So
It's great.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So you got deep technical skills in both sound and lighting. How did you develop that side of your craft?
It goes back to when I used to DJ in a club. So I started DJing in a club, and everything's self-taught.
Okay.
Back in the 90s, there was
No
DJ
YouTube.
school. There
Yeah.
was no YouTube, And so growing up, I've always loved music. And then along the way, I got a passion for sound and lighting, And then in the club, I mean, things would break, and the owner was like, well, I don't know what to do. So trial and error, And so I taught myself DMX. I went in and I installed light shows and special effects for the club, and just asking around, and just a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
And so
you didn't have YouTube. So.
There was no YouTube, yeah. So you just kind of had to learn. You had to figure it out, read the manual.
So back then, one of the worst things that you could do is blow a fuse.
Oh yeah. We blew a lot of them at the club. We blew a lot of them.
Wow.
I didn't even know they had them in there until I took a couple of speakers to get fixed, and they go, "Oh yes, it's just a fuse." So I mean, those kind of things you learn, and that's just kind of part of. But I think DJing in a club gave me a lot of experience that I would have never gotten.
Yeah.
I think a lot of DJs, you show up, you DJ, you go home. I mean, I got to the point where I was managing the club. So not only was I DJing, but I got to the point where I was managing the club because they thought I knew what I was doing. And I mean, we were doing pretty well. We went from one of the worst clubs in Deep Ellum to one of the top clubs in Deep Ellum. So, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah. And just to touch on something, we spoke about something before we came on air, and I just want to tie this in. You said that you took a pay cut when you stopped DJing to go to another job,
yes,
which was something that you wanted to do.
Yes.
And that was mind blowing.
So was that because you was managing, or you were?
Yes.
Because a lot of DJs are still making small dollars in clubs.
You're right. Absolutely. So I think I kind of got lucky. I had two passions in life. One, I always wanted to be a police officer growing up. People would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a police officer. And then they said, so along the way, then I had the passion for music too. So I wanted to be a DJ. So that was my hobby job. It's like, okay, I'll do law enforcement, and then I'll DJ for fun, right? Well, I'm DJing in a club, and things are just, we got to the point where we're doing a live broadcast on, back then it was WOW 100.3.
Oh yeah.
So we would actually, everything I was DJing in the club was broadcast live. They'd bring the van, the transmitter. So we were doing live broadcasts back then. The line wrapped around the building, so this little club was only open 2 nights a week, Fridays and Saturdays. And by the time we got this thing going, we were making $1 million a year, which is impressive for a little club with 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I left and went to pursue my passion of being a police officer. And I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I was making $500 a night DJing, and which back then, was kind of crazy for in a club.
Yeah.
So I was bringing in $1,000 a week, working 2 nights a week, and I left that to go work as a police officer for $13 an hour. So, and then my days off were like Tuesday, Wednesday, and I was like, man, and I was young. I kind of missed that money.
You got to do what you want to go do. So.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
You still have to follow our dream somewhere.
Right.
And perhaps DJing wasn't the dream at the time.
Right. And so I went back to DJing, and then the owner decided several years later that he wanted to retire, was going to close his club. And I go, well, the only other thing that I know is, do I go back, do I just continue DJing, or do I pick a career and go back to law enforcement? And that's what I did. I went back to law enforcement. I just retired at the end of 2021. And now DJing full time.
Okay.
So,
Congrats and thank you for your service.
yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So wow.
Today.
But you know what I tell people? I go, man, I feel like I'm the luckiest guy alive because I had 2 dreams. I had 2 goals. I wanted to be a police officer. I got to live that. I think I did it. I did a good job. Not only was I a police officer, I was a police lieutenant. So I was a supervisor. And then DJing, another passion. So I feel like I'm lucky. I got to live out. A lot of people have dreams. They go, when I grow up, I want to do this. I want to do this. And they work in a cubicle and that dream kind of dies. I think I'm kind of lucky.
Do what they really.
Exactly. And I feel lucky. I feel blessed. God's been good to me.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah, that's real good. All right, Jeffrey.
All right. How does being bilingual help you connect with your audiences across different types of events?
That's a great question. I don't market myself as the bilingual DJ. And that just, to me, I'm just rocking the crowd,
Okay.
But I think over the years, I've kind of become one of the bilingual DJs. And I think that that's kind of a niche that I have.
That's a good
The
one.
majority of the weddings that I do are bilingual weddings. I mean, even think about it with even quinceañeras. The kids go to the school here. Their friends all speak English. They all listen to hip hop, top 40, dance, and their parents are from Mexico, so they want the best of both worlds. You have families that come in from Mexico, and a lot of them don't speak English. So with a bilingual DJ, you get the best of both worlds. So I mean, honestly, that's helped me out tremendously.
In what kind of way?
Because it's a specialty. It's a specialty. Yeah, you can have a DJ come in and they can play Spanish music, but they want somebody that can speak Spanish, make the announcements in English and Spanish.
I feel like there's more of a connection.
A connection, and then also I can communicate with the guests when they come up and they request a song. I can talk to them in Spanish and communicate. So, as far as making everybody feel included, I think being able to make that connection, I think it helps being bilingual. So
No, I think it's a huge one.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's beneficial. Get a little jealous sometimes. But hey, it's great.
Yeah. We can
We
change your
just
name.
defer. We defer.
We can change your name to Jose.
That's right.
No,
that's
but
right.
then you gotta learn Spanish.
That's when you get the name Jose.
I'm gonna dive in.
There you go. There you go. Love it. I love it. El jefe. El jefe. I had to do the accent. El jefe.
Yes.
So y'all can understand.
See what I mean? There we go.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
So tell us about your long-standing radio career or the experience, and how does that differ from doing live events versus the radio?
That's a great question. So, everybody has goals. Everybody has goals.
Yes.
And when I first started DJing, my goal was like, man, I would love to DJ in a club. I think that would be the ultimate goal. I do parties and things like that. But my thing was, because I used to go to a club and I became friends with the club DJ, and I would see him rocking the dance floor and how cool everything was with the lighting and the sound. And I was like, man, this is cool. So I was like, man, my goal is to be DJing in a club. So I got that dream, started DJing in a club. And then, they were doing live broadcasts and other clubs and things like that. And I was like, okay, my new goal is to DJ live on the radio. How cool would that be? How cool would that be for hundreds and thousands of people to be hearing my mixes live? And then we started doing the live broadcast, from the club.
Uh,
So I was like, man, I got the best of both worlds. I'm DJing live on the radio and I'm DJing at the club. I'm living the life. This is great.
I diggity.
This is great, right? And then I thought, maybe we take it another step further. Where do we go from here? And I go, well, how about radio? That would be great. Well, no radio station I applied that would talk to me because they go, you don't have any radio experience. They all wanted 2 to 3 years of radio experience. So they said that the way to get in is a couple of things. One, you go to DJ school, you go to college for it, you intern, or you come in working $10 an hour on the weekends as a promotion assistant. You go out and throw out T-shirts.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to go quit my DJ job where I was making good money and also law enforcement to go work for $10 an hour to intern. So I was like, well, then I'm kind of stuck. So now I reached out to KNON 89.3 FM. And they were hiring DJs. I was like, well, let me go talk to them, and went and started off on their live streaming side. Did that for about a year and a half. And then about 6 months ago, we transitioned over to radio. And this has been a learning curve because I don't know anything about radio. I mean, you think you do, right? But I don't know anything. I didn't know. So, it's a lot of preparation, and it's a lot of rules and a lot of FCC, requirements and things that you can't say, and make sure you don't talk about this. And so it's a lot of preparation. I think because people have a very short attention span.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to make sure that you're connecting with the audience through the music, but also, don't talk too long. It's not a talk show. And so there's a lot of little things like that. So it's been a good experience. And I never thought I would get to this point, to be honest with you. So,
So what's the number one thing that you do? What's the worst thing you can do on it?
is
Besides curse.
I think a lot of it is also
Politics.
promoting. Well, politics is a big one.
Yeah.
The other one is promoting businesses because you have advertisers, and it's like, well, they're paying, but now we have one club or a business that's paying for advertisement, but yet you're sitting here talking about how you love this other company. So little things like that.
Yeah, and I know someone, a friend, they lost their show because of that. Another paying club owner felt like they were promoting,
Right. Exactly.
someone else,
Right.
and cried wolf, and they lost their show.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. And also, I mean, you got to do it because you love it and you love playing the music. It's not about me. Like, I'm not there. When I'm there, I'm not sitting there trying to just promote me. I'm trying to put on a good show.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
go ahead, sir. You're nice, man.
Thank you. I'll take that. But then too, you even have where you can't just play what you want to play either.
We can at 89.3.
Yeah, they can.
How?
Yeah.
How?
Well, because it's not formatted. It's you got sponsorship. It's a 501c.
Correct. It's a nonprofit. So So we're not. Most radio station. This is another thing I didn't know, but I went to go see a friend of mine, Billy the Kid. He was on Kiss FM at the time when I was DJing. He would come out and we'd do a live broadcast. I'd DJ and he'd be on the microphone in the club. And so one day I asked him, hey, can I go to the radio station with you? Because I'd love to see what it looks like. And so we went up there and looked at it and showed me the board and everything. And really, it was just a computer that was playing all the music. And I was like, well, can I request a song? And he's like, well, unless it's on the screen, no.
Yeah.
Like, we don't play song requests like that. We have a program director, and what they do is, weeks in advance, they go in there and they load the computer with everything that we're going to play. And here's a piece of paper with a script. And every once in a while, you jump in and say something funny. And that's what it is.
Yeah, you can't divert from that at all.
And my heart was broken. And I go, man, I thought you guys played music and all this. And no, all this is pre-recorded. Well, but then I got to KNON 89.3. It's one of the only stations where they actually have real DJs actually picking and playing the music, which why I love so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have to stay within the format that we're in.
Yes.
But my format, they call it the Latin Energy. It's broad. It includes Latin, but it also includes some dance. It includes hip hop. So ours is kind of unique because it's the only radio station where we're actually mixing live at the top of the hour, like actually DJs mixing live. and also playing English and Spanish, but not just English, but we play a hip hop song. We might play a top 40 song, and we'll play a dance song, and same thing with Spanish. There's different there's cumbias, and so it's pretty cool. It's a very unique race, and I love it because
It's cool.
that's why I became a DJ because I want to play music for people. And a lot of times when you're at an event like a wedding, I'm not playing the music I want to play necessarily.
No.
But here at the radio station, I'm playing the music that I love and that I want to play. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's been a great experience.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now we'll go back to my radio days. We had a clock, and it was before you had a computer, so we had to play our cassettes with carts.
Right. Right.
But we had one slot where we could pick a song maybe once an hour. You could pick some oldie or something, put it in that spot. But yeah, it is very strict. And the worst thing to me about PD always says is
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want that dead
that's
air. Yeah,
the
for sure.
worst thing.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I mean, about the dead air thing from just DJing. So there's a lot, and I think everything has kind of prepared me for everything else.
Yeah.
The nightclub thing has prepared me for weddings. The last 2 hours where they want the club vibe,
Yeah.
and I had to know how to mix. Because how do you DJ in a club without knowing how to mix? How do you DJ live on the radio if you don't know how to mix? So everything has kind of
Can
been.
you say that again?
Uh-oh.
He's losing his nice persona. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
All right. Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying that's important. How can you? But anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I digress.
Mhm.
The nice
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
one. I'm not even looking down.
All right, there you go, sir. And moving right along.
What are your go-to tools or gear setups that help you deliver consistently strong performances?
Well, I love RCF as far as my speakers are concerned. That's what I use. That's what I love. But I've had them all. I've had QSC. I've had the K8s, the K12s. I've had EVs. I've had the EV, the top of the line, the ETX line. I've had Bose.
Would this be a time when we say that our sponsors are not a part of this?
This is my opinion. I'm just telling you what I've used. I'm telling
Very
you what
much
I've
so.
used. What I've used.
But go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
go ahead, talk to the company that needs to become a sponsor. Go ahead.
He's talking to you.
What's the sponsor again?
No, tell us about the speakers. Yeah, well,
So I mean, right now I use RCF because that's just what I've used and I love
The
it.
sponsor.
And the sponsor.
Yeah, the needed sponsor.
And
Now you got it. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. And as far as controllers, I mean, I always buy whatever comes out. Right now I'm using. I've had the Rev 7. I've had the Performer. Got the Rev 5. Just depends on what I'm doing. And then as far as lighting, I use Chave lighting because I like Chave moving heads and
Yeah.
things like that.
Quality, top quality.
I like top quality. Yeah.
And I like RCF too. I like QSC. So,
But
you can't go wrong with some of them.
No. I mean, my thing is quality is always going to find its way to the top.
Yeah.
So you got to use good equipment, and at the end of the day, I use whatever you feel comfortable. Use whatever works for you.
Because everybody likes something different.
Right.
So,
The sound's different. That's just what I use.
Yeah.
But not for everybody.
No, it's not. It's just choice, and we all have choices.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of great choices from
Absolutely.
JBL to RCF to DOS to Pioneer to,
absolutely
to everybody. It just
Yeah.
depends on what you want, and then
Absolutely.
also as long as you get a good quality sound from what you can afford to buy or what you want to buy, that's all that matters.
And sometimes not just choices, we have different levels of hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may hear something that sounds great to you that may not sound great to another person
Absolutely.
because of preference. This guy might want something with a lot of low end.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone else may want some with, just a quality sound,
Sure.
a balance.
Yeah.
So it's
subjective. It's
yeah.
your personal, and same thing with controllers. Oh man, I can't believe you're using that controller. It's like, I mean, if that's what works for you and that's what you feel comfortable and that's what makes you a great entertainer, great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when people are saying things like that and they can't use what they got.
Right.
Hmm.
We don't want to mention any
Okay.
names.
Okay. All right, moving right along. I'm the honest one. So how is your approach, when you transition between weddings, corporate events, schools, and radio? Do you change your style or do you remain the same?
One thing I think is I remain the same in that I'm consistent. Obviously, the approach and the planning is different for a wedding versus a school event, but my focus has always been being consistent and focused on quality. It doesn't matter what the event is. I'm going to try to bring it 110%, the best that I can. I'm never going to say I'm the best, but I'm going to try my best. And that's what I've always done my whole career. And one of the things that I've always tried to do is I never change. I'm the same person I was in 1996, whether I was DJing in the backyard or the club, or I'm now on the radio. I was a police officer. I'm still the same James I've always been. And that's what people always tell me is you're very genuine and you're the same person, like you never changed. I try not to have an ego. I think for me, I'm who I am, but I just try to keep the focus on quality and do what I do, and I failed a lot, but I've learned a lot. But as long as I tried 110%, there's nothing else you can do,
Oh no.
So
You gave it all you had.
yeah, absolutely. That's how you learn. You gotta make mistakes to learn, So, but the approach is just focus on quality.
Yeah.
Because the client's paying. You want to make them happy,
Absolutely.
So yeah, you just do the best you can.
Yes. Focus on quality. Meet the delivery. Be good on your deliverables because that's important. And do what you love. If you don't love doing this, you shouldn't do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because it shows in your work.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, that's the key is to longevity is the passion, is loving what you do. And have fun. If you're not having fun, you're going to get burnt out. You're not going to do a good job. You're going to have unhappy customers.
Oh, yeah.
And, you're going to get burned and, you're not going to have longevity. So.
Yeah. And that's the key to this business is just loving what we do. If you don't, sometimes you got to drag yourself out there to go do 160 events, and you got to do 2 in one day, or do stupid things like other people do 3 in one day, and whatever it may. But you gotta love it, and the good, the bad, and the ugly about the whole thing.
It's a beautiful thing when you can actually do something that you like doing,
Absolutely.
that you love doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a large majority of us in this industry, this was something that we fell in love with as kids.
Yeah.
It may have started with music, and then you found a way to, project the music.
We had a great comment.
Yes.
We all think we had crazy starts. Look at this start right here. Really coming.
I love hearing the old school DJs hacks. I started with 2 PlayStations in a mixer.
Wow. That's awesome.
I've never heard that one, man.
Hey, it's 2
That's
CD
awesome.
decks.
I started with 2 cassettes too, but I would try to record mine and make a long show or more than one song in a row. Or I had a double deck so I could just go from one side to the other.
I've done things with cassettes that people should. I'm talking about, I got a 60-minute. I didn't want to pay the money, or I didn't have the money to pay for 120 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you doubled it up.
Oh, yes. I became a surgeon. And you got to know how to put that tape on there.
Yeah,
Right.
So it don't break in the middle of it.
Or it doesn't break, where you can get that transition, a smooth transition.
There you go.
Yeah, man. We went through a lot.
Yes, man.
These points.
Well, and I started with cassette tapes, and then once I started DJing, I just went and got 2 regular CD players, and I was like, oh. And I went to Radio Shack and bought a Radio Shack mixer, and I was like, oh, it's got volume now. I can
Old school.
I can play one song and just fade to the other. To me, that was incredible. I thought I was somebody.
I know, and but man, I've never heard of PlayStation.
That's
pretty
cool.
expensive.
Yeah.
We could almost bought a turntable for 2 PlayStations.
Hey, Christmas came early.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
hey. And I wonder,
That's a
was
good
one
one,
of them
Brian.
his and
And
one of them was his
his
brother
homeboy.
or cousin?
Yeah.
How did he get 2
Brian was on
PlayStations?
both your PlayStation. Yeah, but that's really cool. I thought that was cool.
It is.
I've never heard that one.
I haven't either.
But
That's definitely unique.
one of the great things I would say about, the industry and what we do is innovation. A lot of us push, you know, and I've talked to Jeff about this. DJing came about, doing something that you wasn't supposed to do. Nobody said take two turntables, or better yet, I want you to spin this back.
Mhm.
It was belt drive.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the resistance on the first person that did a spin back?
Yeah, absolutely.
It- So I'm just saying there is nothing but innovation when you
Yeah.
look at DJing.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Innovation, just get,
Oh, yeah.
just creating new things. And there's so much that comes, and technology has gotten so much better now.
Oh.
That stuff you can just push a button and be creative and have all that stuff right there at your fingertips.
Oh yes. Oh yes. All right, Jeff.
Absolutely.
I have another question.
Yes.
You, nice one. What do you think the next is the next thing for the DJ, especially tech, AI, event expectations shifting? What are some of the things that we got coming down the industry pipeline?
I think for sure, I think AI is going to play a big part in DJing. I think you already kind of starting to see that now.
Yeah.
But I think that AI will never be a human DJ. And I think the reason why is because, when you're rocking a crowd, you can read the crowd in real time.
Learn
you can make
behavior.
whatever adjustments you can,
Yeah.
And I know AI will probably eventually have do a good job, but I think you can never replace that human element. I think that human to human connection, I think that AI can never replicate.
Yeah.
And I think it can get, it's like anything. Spotify, you can put a Spotify on and, you can play music, but I don't think AI, maybe I'm wrong, maybe eventually we'll be able to make those adjustments and they'll have a camera and, but, I just think that human connection, I think is really important. But I think that AI is definitely probably the next big thing.
Because they talk about it like George St. Jacques. He talks about they can, put a camera, they can scan, they'll be able to scan everybody's phone when they walk in the room to see what they listen to, their playlist, and it's coming. But it's gonna, like you said, it's gonna take a while, but they're gonna come up with ways to try to make AI work. I just feel like they are. It's gonna be better than we think it is, and you're gonna hate that you didn't get better to keep up, to be as good or as better than AI.
Well, and the scary thing is not just for DJing; it's for all different industries.
Oh, yeah,
everything.
Everything.
And so, yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Very.
You got to love technology, but at the same time, you got to be careful with what you wish for. So,
Yeah. AI is equivalent to, Jeff's your supervisor.
Can I have a raise?
Well,
Am I senior
well,
supervisor?
well, he comes to you, hey, James, I want you to teach Mike how to do your job. That's AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sitting back there waiting to do your
Right.
job.
Yeah.
It is incredible. But just not just tech, anything tech, controllers are getting better, trends, anything you see in the industry that you just think is changing and making a huge difference.
I mean, just look at the technology that we have. We have stems now, which is crazy, right? And so what is out there now that we haven't even seen? I mean, look at the iPhone. The iPhone, they come out with one, and then 6 months later, they have a new one that has all kinds of new chips. And you're like, So that when they released that one, they had this other one that they were already working on. So
Yes.
I just think everything's getting smaller, everything's getting better. Even the lights, everything's getting lighter, everything's getting more compact.
And all the battery powered.
All the battery powered.
Wireless DMX.
You know what a lot of people don't think about it as DJs, and I think of myself like this, and I think about this as DJs. One word that you don't hear a lot with DJs is problem solvers. We solve problems.
Yes.
We solve problems for people.
That's a good one.
When people go, hey Jay, Mike, Jeff, I want to get married over here by the tree, but there's no power, and I need a lapel mic. What do I do? Oh, no problem. I got this Everse 8. Now you can plug it in. We're problem solvers.
Yeah.
Oh, I want some uplights, but there's no, this is just years and years of things that have, gotten us to this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I got a TV across the room and I want to display a slideshow. How do I do that? Oh, I got this HDMI wireless, So, I mean,
Thank you.
we're problem solvers. You have to think.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
to think in terms of, well, if I run an HDMI cable over there, people are gonna trip. But I mean, technology is just moving so fast. It's moving so quickly. It's scary, to be honest with
It
you.
really is. It really, really is.
If we got stems now, what do they already have that they haven't come out with yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think things are getting smaller. Things are getting more powerful. And I'm just excited to see what's next.
I like that. I like that. Yes. Miguel?
So, what advice would you give to younger DJs who want to build a long-lasting, full career like yours, doing 288 events a year?
That's a lot of events, 200. Wow, that's a lot.
You doubled it up.
That's a lot. Wait a second. Let me go back. Yeah,
He had
that was a
128
lot. That was a lot. Yeah. No, honestly, look, there's no secret to the hustle. There's no secret to hard work. There's no shortcuts, to be honest with you. You're gonna have to hustle. You're gonna have to put in the work. You're gonna have to grow. You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to learn from other DJs. You gotta learn from mistakes. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes. Pace yourself. Don't burn yourself out. That's the worst thing that you can do. When I am not having fun anymore, that's when I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit DJing. I'm gonna hang it up. I'm still having fun. That's my rule that I've always had from the beginning. When I'm not having fun anymore, that's when it's time to move on and do something else. I love what I do. Pace yourself. Focus on quality. Do you? Don't try to copy somebody else. Do you? Be individual and put in the work. And if you focus on quality and you're consistent, you will be successful.
That's a good word to live by right there.
Yes.
And I mean, that's what I've done. That's what I've kind of lived by. So.
And what is that one thing that, that's your go-to that keeps you just motivated?
My son,
Mm.
my 10-year-old son, Andrew.
Okay.
You go through stages in life. When I was younger, my motivation was music. Then I got into the clubs and that was fun and had a good time. And then as you continue to grow, that motivation changes sometimes.
Yes.
And sometimes now you're doing it because you got to work, you got to eat, you got to pay bills. And then you got a family. And now you do things for other reasons, and so my motivation is family. And also my motivation is the fact that I still love what I do and I'm having fun.
That's good. I like that.
So,
Were you still having fun, Jeffrey?
absolutely. Absolutely, man. How do you get to wake up all the time and go and entertain people, have fun? And they, if you're a control freak, they on your every, they move at your every whim. So who would enjoy what we do, making people laugh, have a good time, celebration, crying, and you take people on a musical journey every time you go. Some songs will touch somebody's heart, so I absolutely love what we do. What about you, Mike?
Well, I would say, yes, I love it. I remember me and you had a conversation, and we were talking about what would you do? What could you do every day and not get tired of doing it? DJ.
Yeah.
I got two. It's DJing and eating tacos. I can do
Oh!
I'm not eating tacos.
Oh!
Yeah.
So it ain't Taco Tuesday, it's taco every day.
That's right.
Since we're here, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors, Mike. Go ahead.
Yes, we want to thank our sponsors. Without you guys, we couldn't do what we do and be as effective. We have Sandy Lights, we have Curator Live, eStarts, EV, Ultimate Ears, Jetpack,
Marquee Show. Midwest Live.
yes, DJX, PBX, MEX,
TV Europe.
yes, and don't forget
Harvest
NLFX.
Yeah. All of our
Professional.
sponsors that take care of us.
Yes,
And we shout out to our producer on the road, DJ A-Rock.
yes, another one.
Another one.
Yes.
Yeah, but hey, before we get out of here, James, tell them where they can find you, how they can listen to you on the radio, where they might find you at.
Yeah, absolutely. You can catch me every single Tuesday from noon to 4 p.m. I'm on KNON 89.3 FM. My socials, you can find me at Corona_Entertainment at Instagram. And then Facebook, just search James Corona. That's it.
So do you guys ever go live video wise at the radio station?
No, they I forget the reason, but we're not allowed to go live on social media. Something to do with the licensing of the music.
Oh,
And I know some radio stations do it, but because we're nonprofit, we kind of have a little bit different rules.
yes.
We can film and then post it later. We just can't go live in the studio.
Wow.
So, but I thought that was
So many rules.
It
There's
is.
a lot
It
of
is.
things people don't realize.
Yeah,
There's
it
a
is.
lot of rules.
It really is.
And you
It
think
really
you can
is.
just jump up there and do anything, and it's not.
Nothing like that phone ringing and you know it's the people. What you doing?
Yes, but you know what's funny is, there's a jump to everything. Going from doing private events to DJing in the club was a jump.
Oh yes.
DJing in the club and doing private events are totally different. And then even once I got done DJing in clubs and went back to private events, it was a learning curve. I thought it was like, well, you're playing music. I mean, the DJ's a DJ. Boy, was I wrong.
Wrong.
And so it's a learning curve with everything. And then now going into radio, it's a different learning curve. And so you got to learn. But that thing helps you grow. It makes you a better person. It makes you a better DJ. You got to learn along the way. And I love. I have no regrets. I've had a great career, having fun, and hopefully I can continue doing it for a couple more years.
Yeah.
I do have one more question. Is it okay?
Go right ahead, sir.
So, are you the type of DJ that you feed off the energy of what you see, or you just play your music?
Now, I think most DJs feed off of what you see. Regardless, we're going to try to do the best that we can because that's we're they're paid to provide a service. But yeah, absolutely, we feed off of the crowd. We feed off of the connection that we're having with the people because that basically, tells you that you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of the rush of DJing when you can get people to sing along and you can get people all on the dance floor. I think those are the moments that you go, man, this is why I became a DJ.
Yes. And see, and I'm sorry I didn't say this before, but it was a two-part question, but I wanted you to say that first or hear how you felt about that. So now, going from an event to radio where no one is in front of you and you're just playing music, how do you get that motivation?
It's funny that you asked that question. So the cool thing is with our radio station is we have a message board, we have a screen. And so we always we encourage our listeners to call us on the phone and also send us messages.
Okay.
And you get the encouragement from the phone calls and from the nice messages that you get. I got a nice message today. It was a great message. It was from this young lady named Olive. And she said that she discovered our show and never, I guess tuned into the radio to 89.3, and she discovered our show by accident. And she's in college and she's in her second year. And today was her birthday. And she
happy
wanted
birthday,
us to,
Olive.
She wanted us to, do a birthday shout out to her. And she says, I'm going back home in the summer to New Orleans, but I know that I have your app, so I'll be listening to y'all from New Orleans, and I can't wait to come back. And love you guys, and y'all make my day.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes. Now I have a question. So, do you think live streaming help you be ready for
Absolutely,
YouTube?
yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I try to tell Michael.
Absolutely.
Radio helped me for live streaming.
Yeah.
Because you're right, you're playing to nobody.
Right.
And back in the day, there was no, I get phone calls, but there was no board for me to look at. But you would have good phone calls that would, encourage you to say you're doing a great job and all that good stuff. But it's just really crazy, to play to a bag or to your, just looking at the glass, through the glass, and there's nothing there.
It is weird because you're like, is anybody listening? Is anybody? You start thinking like everything. But yeah, people send messages and that motivates you because right after the mixes, man, we'll start getting all kind of phone calls and all the message board just starts lighting up. Like, oh man, that mix was fire. Oh, I love that mix. Or where can I get that mix? And man, you brought back the days. Because today I did an early 2000s hip hop mix. And man, that reminded me when I was at the club. In the early 2000s. Yeah, So that's very motivating. And then also, I talk to friends and family members that listen, and they're like, hey, heard the show today. I caught the show. It was good. You know,
Yeah,
I like that mix that you did, and so you know, it's fun.
Yeah. So what did Todd say? He had 2 Carver rack mounted and a new one. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
old vintage equipment.
Yeah, and a
ton.
ton of plastic boxes with CDs. Never did the sleeve holders. Book.
You just see these jumps and skipping, playing the same. You know how you had them CDs that would just stay on the same track. You used to get records like that too.
Oh man, nothing like a warped or
Yeah,
scratched
warped
record.
Do y'all still have your CDs? Because I started DJing off CDs.
I have
really.
some CDs. I don't have all of them. I mean,
I have,
walls.
yeah, I have some vinyl. I started with vinyl.
And I was surprised that Cal bought all those CDs yesterday.
Well, he was saying something about there's a DJ school.
Yeah,
and
he
they
has
have
a
the
school.
CDJs.
But you know what they do too? I mean, a lot
I'm
of
mad
them,
I didn't
they
do it.
really need to do is go back and because me and Mike did a show one time with all of our favorite beats. There was so many DJs. We never heard that. We never heard that. You know, like just going back to the classic hits, some of the greatest beats of all time, man. And they never even heard of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know what? I have all my CDs, and about a month ago, I went to eBay and I learned on the CDJ 500s. That's what I learned on, and there was 2 CDJ 500s mint, brand new, unsealed in the box.
You got them?
That's why you can't do the right.
And I bought them.
That's why.
Wow.
They're CDJ 500s, and I have them and I was like, man, I got to have them because that's what I learned on, and I didn't have any way to play my CDs anyway, so I was like, that'd be cool to you know, play them and kind of listen to those.
He said he used to buy CDs from Goodwill. Easiest way to make mixes with DAW. Wow.
Hey.
Yeah, we all did. Like we said, you're right. We're problem solvers.
We're inventors. We're innovators. We push.
People don't think of DJs that way. They don't think of that we're problem solvers. Yeah, absolutely.
We push the envelope on everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? And you know what? Like I think as because you guys are doing it, and I think we all have a responsibility as DJs to push our professionalism forward.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's important.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Thank you, James. DJ Kadona.
Yes.
DJ Kadona.
Yes.
For coming in the building.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
I had fun, guys.
We didn't kick him out either, Mikey.
That's good. That's good.
No, I didn't think we would.
I was nervous.
I
thought I was going to get kicked out.
Man. Stop that. No, but it was good, y'all. And we will see y'all next week from Milwaukee.
Yes, Milwaukee, the town that closes down at 5.
It's not that. Wow. It's pretty bad though, man. We had finished doing something.
Man.
We went to go get something
It was
to eat.
8 o'clock
8
on
o'clock.
Sunday.
We could not find anywhere to eat.
Wow.
So we had to order, as A-Rock said, $100 pizza.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It was.
Yeah, they close early.
Early, yeah. So we go in the restaurants, it's full of people, but hey, we can't see y'all because we closed. And we're like, oh my God, what are we going to eat? And then the restaurant the hotel didn't have, I don't think they had the kitchen. So
we came across one place, that bar.
Yeah, we ended up getting something to eat.
Yeah, it was.
But we learned our lesson. So 5 o'clock, we're in the streets trying to get something to eat.
Eat early.
Eat early.
That's right. That's right. You don't eat.
Yeah, we don't eat. All right, y'all, take us on out of here, Mike. We'll see
All right,
y'all
thank you, guys.
next week.
Yes, peace, peace, peace.